On our third stay in Belorado, during our most recent Camino, we stayed at Casa Waslala. The breakfast was wonderful, but the conversation was even better. Paul and his wife have welcomed more than 10,000 pilgrims through their doors. So, of course, I had to ask him about his strangest Camino experience. Turns out, he's written an entire book about them. The only catch? It's in Espanol. Too bad for me, because I have no doubt it's a treasure waiting to be read.
We loved Casa Wasala. You can just feel their love for the pilgrims. They've hosted over 10,000 pilgrims.
One of our favorites.
The breakfast is great. I mean, get the breakfast if you do that. They're only going to do it for a couple more years. They've hosted over 10,000 pilgrims. That's too many. So goodbye, Belorado.
For the third time.
For the third time. She was sick 2 years ago. We had to go into Burgos and get healed up. So we loved that place, not because the facilities were like super great, but just
He was just a kind soul.
Yeah, just loved talking with him.
He's interesting.
Yeah, one of those that you just enjoyed just talking with. And I just wish we could have had more time just to talk. And the food was great that morning, too, for breakfast.
Very good.
Great people. So, Paul, you made our time in Belorado great. Thank you. Thank you.
So we leave here with many memories. With Belorado finally at our back, we face Burgos and a buen camino. Seeing these pilgrims painted on the wall is the perfect reminder that we're not simply resuming a walk after healing up. We're doing something far more significant. We're continuing an ancient pilgrimage that literally millions have walked before us over the last 1,000 years.
She's getting a picture because this is the first distance marker that we've seen. 554.6 kilometers to Santiago. We have false memories of actually seeing those distance markers a lot earlier, but out of Belorado was the first one we saw this time, and we kept looking for them. Gina said that they do have one in Rasas Valles, but it's new, and she's going to prove it by sending the picture to me. So here's the picture.
I don't think it ever really stuck in my memory, because what really grabs you is the iconic highway sign, 790 kilometers to Santiago de Compostela. And that's something a pilgrim never forgets. Okay, here's a little spring. It's called Fuente del Cazaro, and it sits between Belorado and Dos Santos. Now, my Spanish isn't great, but I'm pretty sure that translates to place where people pee. It smells like a sports arena bathroom here. So, yeah, definitely don't walk barefoot over there. Just outside of Belorado is Dos Santos, and you can spot it if you look far to your right across the highway. What really draws you in is the mysterious church built right into the side of the cliffs. It's usually closed, but pilgrims who stay at one of the albergues in Dos Santos sometimes gets the chance to tour it. We've never stayed there ourselves, but when we return, it's definitely on our must-do list. Our friends Ken and Kathy did stay there, and that's how we were able to get these images. So thank you, Ken and Kathy. Hidden in the rock comes straight from Psalm 18. God is my rock in whom I take refuge. So this hermitage was carved into the cliff for safety. Hermits lived here, and pilgrims prayed here, because on this historically dangerous road, the next miles could be their last. Maybe we should have stopped and prayed, because the next village can be perilous for pilgrims. A few years ago, we even experienced a strange plague of flies here. And yes, I'm going to tell you about that very shortly. It's called Villafranca Montes de Oca. It might as well translate into dangerous highway for pilgrims, proceed at your own risk. So be careful walking through here. Very careful. Watch your back and your left and your right and the semi-trucks at full speed.
Let's see if the church is open. Let's see. I don't think so. It has cobwebs, 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 cobwebs. So I doubt it if it's open. That was the side door, but even the front door is closed and locked. Maybe later today we'll check it out.
We stayed here on both of our caminos on the exiting edge of town called San Anton Abad, which has private rooms and a community albergue. Plenty of places to apparently charge your electronics. I read that this place was once known as the Queen's Hospice, after the Queen of King Enrique II. She donated a lot of money to help build it back in the year 1380. By the 1700s, it was caring for the sick and injured pilgrims that made their way by. It was even mandatory to burn rosemary every day, partly for the medicinal purposes, but also to help deal with the smell. A register from 1594 records that this hospice cared for 16,767 pilgrims, and on some days, more than 200 passed through its doors. So pilgrims have always had choices here, and these days, you can even upgrade to something a little more comfortable.
The decadence of it is absolutely appalling.
That'll be fun in the morning. If you ever get food poisoning on the Camino, and we've not, but if you ever do, this is the bathroom that you want to reserve. One where you can sit on the toilet, which I have my clothes on because I'm not an animal, but you can sit on the toilet and you have access to the sink. Perfect for Camino food poisoning, which we don't have.
They have a great dinner, great night's sleep, and trust me, we'll need it, because tomorrow we walk into one of the strangest, eerie feeling forests that we've ever encountered.
We got this. We're not last, but we were close. Let's move on. We're finally getting started, but this time 2 years ago was one of the worst days of the Camino we had. There were these weird flies that just came out of nowhere. I thought my wife put a dead cat in my backpack. Flies.
Are you dead?
They're everywhere. On me. God, I can't believe that. Look at them all.
I'm searching for dead things or old food in my fanny pack, hoping for an answer to our morning plague.
Lies.
Gina's philosophy was to keep her poles moving in an airplane propeller fashion in hopes that it might shoo the flies away. I suggested to look for an app that might deter flies and mosquitoes with some kind of high frequency or predator sounds.
You having fun, Gina?
We do remember an eerie wall of unappreciated warm air that seemed to accompany the creatures. You combine those things with a forest that has depths of darkness, and you have a very strange Camino experience. And just when you think things couldn't get any stranger, we later learned that this quiet hillside is tied to one of Spain's darkest chapters. It's linked to Hitler and a mass grave, but we're going to get to that shortly. Back to the flies. We took a still shot and counted the flies that we could see in the image, and it was clearly an easy 18 that were visible. Some looked like helicopters in the sky. But we're not the only ones who experienced this.
Kathy and Ken.
Yeah, they had the very same problem, but they were about a week ahead of us. So here's Kathy.
So being a week further down the Camino did not exempt them from the same infestation. Look at the size of those. It looks like some kind of aerial invasion.
But we think it was just some kind of barometric pressure change that activated all the flies and told them to attack pilgrims. But today, I hope we don't have that. Today is such a beautiful hike.
It is pretty.
So much better than last time. I say that a lot, don't I?
It is uphill though.
Mm-hmm. We stopped to take pictures of the landscape behind us, just to catch our breath.
We just left Villafranca Montes de Oca. Since Montes means mountains, consider this your official warning that it is uphill. At the top is Fuente Mojapán, literally the moisten your bread fountain. Medieval pilgrims would wet their stale bread here. Great idea for them. Now, modern pilgrims can do it as well if you want to be on the new dysentery weight loss program. So be careful about that. There is a shelter though, and the back of that shelter, well, it's seen many pilgrims bear it all. Enter at your own risk. Shortly after the rest stop is the place that memorializes that dark chapter in Spain's recent history. It's the Memorial of the Fallen. This isn't just a memorial, it marks the actual site of shallow graves where hundreds of people were executed during the Spanish Civil War. In 1936, Spain was already tearing itself apart. A nationalist military coup led by Francisco Franco rose up against the democratically elected government. How bad was this guy? Well, he was supported by Nazi Germany and fascist Italy, and that coup ignited the Spanish Civil War. That summer, witnesses spoke of finding dozens of bodies every single day in these mountains and along the nearby river, victims of executions meant to eliminate political opposition. This monument was later placed here by relatives of the victims, an estimated 300 people who were shot and buried in a mass grave at this very spot. Walking just a few steps off the path puts you directly over where the victims were found. Places like this remind you that the Camino has its heroes and its villains. But the Camino never lets you stay in one place for long. You turn back to the road, walk west, and remind yourself that this path has a way of balancing heavy moments with lighter ones. And just ahead, what is that?
It's like Dr. Coffee and a little bit of jazz. Oh yeah. Got a superhero cape as well. You sell coffee here?
I am doctor in coffee. My coffee no is only one coffee.
Only one.
It's one experience.
Wow.
Experience.
He's made coffee for 9 years for peregrinos.
I am doctor in coffee for Wisconsin University.
He went to school. How long did you go to school for? He went to
You
school
went to school
for
how long?
Only go to school one day.
1 day. Wow, that's the best coffee ever.
It's true. I speak true all time. Pinocchio, no.
You do. Gracias.
It's the Cape of Capitan Coffee.
Oh, hold on.
The Cape of Capitan Coffee.
Just because my coffee is wonderful.
Moments ago, we experienced the Camino, reminding us of humanity at its worst. And this next event reveals someone joyful as we begin to enter a new section of artistic expression, color, and surprise. I really don't have words to describe what we saw next. So, yeah. As interesting as all this is, the Camino and Gina reminds us of our task, which is to keep walking west.
One book I read from, I think it's written in the 70s, said that they saw mushrooms as big as straw hats in this area. I didn't find them as big as straw hats, but they started getting progressively larger. But these are not as big as a straw hat. Okay, now I saw some really big ones here. Look, that one's getting a lot bigger there. All those mushrooms there. There was a nice group back there, 4 people sitting on the side of the road eating. And I like to go by and say, oh, hungry peregrino, and just to see what they'll do. And I don't ever accept what they offer me. Well, I did this time. The sun is just starting to come out, and we're a couple days away from the fall equinox. And if we were just a little slower, and in a couple days there's something really cool in the church that I would love to have shown you and seen myself in the church in San Juan de Ortega.
Well, who is San Juan of Ortega? Well, he was a disciple of Santo Domingo. You know, the guy with the chicken church from a few episodes ago. Just like his teacher, he built bridges and hospitals and churches and hostels all throughout this region. But here's the twist. This church is not dedicated to him. It's dedicated to San Nicolas de Bari, the saint who supposedly saved San Juan from drowning while he was returning from a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. San Juan was shipwrecked, and he happened to be carrying a relic of San Nicholas, which is basically just a piece of Nicholas's body. So he prayed. He said, "If you save my life, I'll dedicate myself to helping pilgrims." Well, San Juan lived, and when he returned to Spain, he chose one of the most dangerous stretches of the Camino, the road between Villafranca and Burgos, to devote his life to developing that path for pilgrims. His remains are here in the church, but in a very simple sarcophagus that you can actually touch. The fancy tomb behind bars, the one that you cannot touch, was created later to honor his life. The alabaster panels on the tomb tell stories from his life. There's one where robbers steal his cow and then they try to escape. They get lost in the fog, and by morning, they happen to be standing right back at the front door of San Juan's house. That's got to be awkward. Another panel shows San Juan receiving pilgrims, and he sends his nephew back to get some food, but the pantry is empty. So then he sends the nephew back again, and this time the pantry is suddenly filled with bread. There are also miracles involving pilgrims. There was one French pilgrim that had twisted feet. He could barely move. His arms were so deformed that he couldn't feed himself. He prayed at the tomb, and he was cured. Another pilgrim arrived on crutches. He vowed to not leave until he was healed. Suddenly, his friends heard strange sounds, stretching and cracking and popping. It was the flesh, bones, and ligaments in his body going back into the normal position. And that's not everything. There's also a retablo in the church telling stories of the hermit Jerome. At the bottom, Jerome removes a thorn from a lion's paw. In gratitude, the lion vows to protect Jerome's donkey. But then the donkey and some camels are stolen. So the lion does the work of the donkey instead. He doesn't look too happy about it. Good news, the donkey and camels are eventually recovered, and everyone's happy. I love the stuff you see in churches. Oh, but I saved the best for last. There's a capital, which is the carvings at the top of a column that tells the story of the birth of Jesus. You see the Archangel Gabriel telling Mary what's about to happen, the announcement about the Immaculate Conception. And then you see Mary visiting her cousin Elizabeth, who is pregnant with John the Baptist. And an angel appears to Mary's husband, Joseph, in a dream, telling him not to be afraid to take Mary as his wife. And finally, you have the birth of Christ, the nativity scene with the animals gathered around. But there's something really, really cool about this column. If you pass through here on the spring or fall equinox, you can witness the miracle of light. In 1974, they discovered, maybe they rediscovered this phenomenon. On the spring and fall equinox, sunlight passes through a specific window and perfectly illuminates the Virgin Mary in the scene of the Annunciation. So if you're walking the Camino around the equinox, look it up, because seeing this in person is something straight out of an Indiana Jones movie. The light pours through this window like a spotlight from heaven. First through this tomb, then inching its way up the wall until it lands on the Annunciation of Mary. Now, sadly, we would have had to stay here 2 extra days to see this ourselves. So I posted on Facebook. I said, if anyone is here in 2 days, please get me video. Please get it to me and send it to me here on Facebook. I heard nothing. But then
10 days ago, I posted on Facebook that if anyone is in San Juan de Ortega, to please video on the solstice this light miracle that takes place where the light shines through the window and shines perfectly on the Annunciation that is sculpted into one of the columns, and it wasn't rediscovered until like the 70s, and nobody took video of it. Then 10 days later, we just happened to be eating dinner with someone, and we were talking about weird things on the Camino, and this lady says, I posted video of this for someone on the Camino. I said, oh, I asked for it. And she looked, and she had sent me 10 days earlier a video on Facebook, and this is actually the video right here.
This footage exists because of a Camino miracle and because Mia and Susanna answered my Facebook post.
She is responsible for getting me the footage that you are seeing right now. The problem though, the video went into like my spam folder on Facebook, so I didn't even know it. So thank you so much. I think Susanna filmed it, but Mia's the one that sent it to me on Facebook and said, hey, I've got the video. It's just Camino magic that we would meet up 10 days later. And if we didn't meet up, it wouldn't be as high quality of a video. So that's why we're able to airdrop it from her phone to my phone. And now for your viewing pleasure. Wow, this is such a great experience. You're gonna love it when you come on the Camino.
If you like the strange side of the Camino, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and leave a comment. Any comment at all will do. Seriously, those things help so much, like way more than you could think.
Nydia here just subscribed to the YouTube channel. She's like subscriber number 100. I just looked and she's subscriber 99. Nydia.
In the next video, we enter into Burgos, and there's two ways to go. Most pilgrims miss the beautiful route because it's pretty difficult to find. I'm going to show you exactly how to take it so that you don't have to slog through the yucky industrial part of the city. I'll try to get the next video out as quickly as I can. We're on the move a lot, and for every minute of video that you see, there's probably about an hour or so of editing behind it. So thanks for walking with us, and buen camino, my friends.